Detours. Brought to you by Sports and Spokes, the magazine for wheelchair sports and recreation. As by far the most experienced player on Team Canada's rugby squad, Mike Whitehead has led an offense that's captured silver medals at the Paralympic Games in Athens and London, and as well as bronze in Beijing. At age 48, Whitehead now prepares for his sixth consecutive trip to the Paralympics, hopeful that Team Canada will once again return to the podium after a disappointing finish in Tokyo.
So 2 silvers and a bronze. Yeah, so still chasing gold, which has been part of the chase. You know, chasing a gold has gotten me into my. This August 29th, I'll play my 26th Paralympic rugby game. Hopefully, if I get in. So 6 Paralympics.
All right, so we can jump right into this because you've been around the block as a player, a top-notch player. So we keep talking to people about rivalries, and there is a definitive rivalry between Team Canada and Team USA.
Oh yeah.
How did that start?
Man, in 2002, Murder Ball years, the movie, we went to Sweden. I was a rookie. Didn't know much, just had a big mouth, and that game in the pool play, well, their best player spun our best player way over the end line. Peyton Hickling at it again. So that's when I recall we both jumped benches. It was almost like an old hockey brawl. Like we both jumped on the court, and it was like almost a fight on the court. Then we play them. Murder Ball happens. We squeak one out against them. But I remember then, that's when it was like, we had a bunch of cocky guys. They had a bunch of cocky guys, and we wanted to fight. We wanted to fight. You know what I mean? And then we would go to Alabama and train against them. So you put us in a gym like this, nobody's around, us and them, and it's just over and over, rinse, repeat. We just wanted to go. We went hard. It was, and now I loved every set.
And there's so many odd characters that came into the mix. Suddenly, Joe Soares gets all ticked off, and at the U.S., he leaves the U.S., he goes north up to Canada to coach you guys to gold.
Yeah, exactly. So he was my first international coach, and he was such a smart rugby mind. I was always grateful. He disciplined some things, man. That ball is worth gold. Ball is $1 million. You take care of it. So he taught me a lot, and I'm always grateful for Joe Soares.
With all your Paralympic experience, there's got to be some moments that really stand out for you. Isolate a couple of them.
So the rivalry. So we play USA in the semis in 2012. Winner goes on to the gold, and there's a few turnovers in the last 3 minutes. One way, one the other way, and we end up edging them out. Last second. So that one stands out. That bus ride back. Just the feeling in the bus. It's pretty special. We did it together. That one stands out, and like 08. We lost in the semis. And it's not always winning, right? So in the locker room, 08, we lose. I make a mistake, and my teammates really had my back. And then we went and played GB for bronze and won a bronze. So, it's not always the wins. It's like the locker room stuff, the bus rides, the guys, the team, the girls, the teammates.
You're going into your 6 games, and you're still chasing gold.
Yeah.
And you are 47?
48
years old. I mean, you got to be hurting, but take all that away.
Yeah,
you're still chasing gold.
Yeah.
What is it about the sport that's driving you on at this point?
It's the community. It's the very close friendships that I cherish now with people that are very important in my life. So that's a big part of it. And I was fortunate as a youngster to have some great coaches. And I've always had that fire, so, but I always come back to my teammates. It's all about the teammates.
Speaking of which, you're a 3, so you have a chance to be a star often. who are some of those role players on Team Canada that you would really want to talk about?
Yeah, decades, right?
Yeah,
like low pointers. I love my low pointers. They're the ones that make it work for us. They grind. So you got Pico and Trevor right now. I love these guys. Mel LaBelle, she's unreal. Byron Green, these people. I love them so much, and they really, watching them grind through different situations is quite a thing. Dan Paradis back in the day, Danny Belanger, Mike Bacon, and you got Billy Bruford on the club stuff, Billy B, really close friend of mine, and, really close teammate. I miss him.
We'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Sports and Spokes Magazine. For nearly 50 years, they've produced stories on iconic athletes performing at the top of their game, given generational coverage of sports dating back to the 1970s, and they've shown the way with exciting and timeless magazine cover shots. To stay on top of all the latest news from the world of high-performance adaptive sports, go to sportsandspokes.com. Sports and Spokes, the magazine for wheelchair sports and recreation. So, the good news, knowing that, you were a hockey guy and you don't mind throwing down, I assume you're not going to take this as an insult, but
no.
We've been sort of tossing around just a little fun question about who is the dirtiest player. And now we've reduced that down to someone who maybe, does some questionable things out on the court. Your name keeps coming up, Mike.
I'm not surprised. I grew up playing a little bit of street ball, and I grew up playing hockey with some tough people, man. So, that's just how I grew up. We were fist fighting off the field, off the ice. We were fist fighting on the ice, and it's just how I grew up. I grew up with, you had to be tough. So, when I'm out there, I just keep that edge.
I know that, quote unquote playing dirty doesn't mean necessarily, try and knock someone out. But, the little subtleties about the game, when you watch football, I like to point this out, you always see someone grabbing for a jersey, grabbing for a face mask, anything you can do to get that little tiny advantage. In rugby, in wheelchair rugby, what are those little tiny advantages that you can create by maybe just holding someone back, keeping someone back a half a second.
Once in a while your hands end up in the wrong place and you're on their wheel, and that'll slow them up. And you can use it at, I have my favorites. I have my favorites who I like to chit-chat with and bug, or, just hitting guys' arms, or hitting their hands. You're just trying to get some ball. You're trying to get a tough pass, make a tough pass. Sometimes you get caught and you get busted. Sometimes, you give them a little love and it goes your way. I need to play on the edge. I got to play with intensity. And that type of play for me puts me in that zone where I play with some intensity. And maybe it fires up my teammates once in a while, and go from there.
I look at you as a kind of guy, and I think I already know the answer, as a high-level hockey player and now a rugby player. This is no consolation prize to you to play rugby, is it?
Oh, no. And, as far as hockey goes, I don't know if I was a high-level player, but, I could barely skate. But I would shuffle around and put a few pucks in here and there. So, no, like, wheelchair rugby has been my life, It's done everything for me. I have kids, I have families, I've had relationships. I've traveled the world. I've been paid. My dream as a kid was to get paid to play a sport. I loved basketball. Actually, it was my number one. And look at that. You know what I mean? My dream came true.
Expectations for Team Canada going into the games.
Yeah.
And who are you focused on? 8 teams.
Yeah, all of them, man. It's there. Expectations, is to cliche, but focus on the moment. Enjoy ourselves and take care of business every step of the way. And that starts, we leave for Monday, we leave in 2 days to go to Denmark to train against them, and then the outcome will be the outcome, but it's right there for us and everyone else.